Thanks to everyone for joining us here today at another TEDx talk. First of all, I'm Mark Lucy, and I am the president of Northwest Radiological. And I came after Paul Lucy. And Paul Lucy was the original president of Northwest Radiological. And I grew up with my grandfather. As a child, I wanted to find an intuitive explanation that would make sense not only to me, but to everybody else on how radiation detectors work. Because I couldn't quite grasp it. And my grandfather would tell me all these things. And no matter what, I would never understand how, a Geiger counter would work. And, my parents never moved out. So I always grew out with my grandparents, and I would always get an explanation about every day of how Geiger counters worked. And when I was a teenager, I finally started watching videos because that's when YouTube came around. And eventually, I learned how radiation detectors work. And then at that point, my goal was to make it make sense to everybody else. And so eventually, I got deeply interested in radiation detectors. So deeply interested that I asked my grandfather, "Can I join your company? Hey. And eventually he said yes. And for the life of me, I cannot find the certificate that accepted me to Northwest Radiological. But to everybody who's wondering, it looked like this. Okay, it was a piece of paper. Okay, and it was not blank, okay? That's a blank piece of paper. So what is the goal of this company that I got accepted to join, you may ask? Well, the main goal is to make radiation detectors, right? But these aren't just any radiation detectors. They're radiation detectors that are made of much cheaper material than plastic and metal. No. These detectors were made of cardstock. And the reason for this is because not everybody can afford this. See that right there? It would fit in the palm of anyone's hand here, okay? That right there is going to cost you well over $2,000. But this one won't, because it's made of cardstock. And they work the same. So isn't it wonderful? Well, I think today we're going to bring in the guy who accepted me to Northwest Radiological, who accepted me and let me build these detectors ever since that very day. So this is my grandfather, Paul Lucy. Everybody say hi to Paul.
Hi, Paul. Nice to see you.
All right. So what do we do at Northwest Radiological?
So what I did at Northwest Radiological is I wanted to make a company that could make Geiger counters more affordable. So I did just that, and I come up with cardstock as my material. And so that's what I've used ever since. Now I'm retired and I'm old and, got more gray hair, but I still supervise my company and make sure that they're doing just what they're supposed to. Not doing this for money, doing this for good, for the good of the world. We want everybody to be safe, and we don't want them to have to pay for that. That's just a right. It should be free. It's not free, but I do my best to make it free.
And eventually, our company started getting more and more popular. And obviously, at this point, it started getting even more attention. And at one point, we actually got so popular that we did an interview with Joe Rogan. And I don't know how many of you have actually seen that, but why don't we just go ahead and play that? Mark Lucy here with Joe Rogan.
So this man is the president of a company called Northwest Radiological, and they make cardstock radiation detectors, am I right?
Yes, I am the current president of Northwest Radiological, which is a company, and we make cardstock Geiger counters, which are much more affordable, right? Imagine a world where we could all afford plastic and metal ones, like, the professional ones. Well, guess what? That world doesn't have to exist, and it doesn't. So we have made a way around that, a world around that, if you like. And this world that we have made is all of these cardstock Geiger counters. We have every single model you could ever hope for. And they're all made of cardstock. And they're all cheap.
What domain is your website? I'm going to bring it up to show everybody watching this podcast. Is it .com?
Yes, it's .wordpress.com. We need your custom domain, don't we?
I think you do.
How much are those?
They aren't cheap.
I need a cardstock domain. Thank you.